Hey, it's Lowery Smith of the Commander Smiths here with a spotlight deck tech of Kilo Apogee Mind. It's a blue and a red and a white for a 3/3 robot artificer. Haste. Whenever it becomes tapped, you get to proliferate. This card is super sweet. You can, +1/+1 counters, charge counters, -1/-1. But in this deck, it's going to be Super Friends with some artifact +1 stuff going on. But Kilo is pretty darn cool. Uh, let's see here. Um, Commander Smiths. I'm part of that podcast every week. Come check us out. Follow, like, we do a lot of stuff. All right. In no particular order, this is the deck. We have Academy Ruins. Being able to put an artifact from the graveyard just to be able to save some type of piece is pretty cool. Winged Boots, one of those artifacts. Again, there is a sub artifact theme in here. And so you get this on Kilo, it's protection, you can be able to attack, and then it's just another way to kind of be able to get Kilo to tap with artifacts and stuff like that. So that works. Forensic Gadgeteer, whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a clue, and then activated abilities on artifacts cost one less. So the clue is to draw just more cards and stuff like that. Market Back Walker, XX. So basically, with this, you pay two, put it into play, 1/1 counter, and then every time you proliferate, you're putting 1/1 counter on it. When it dies, you get to draw a bunch of cards. But really, it's just an early game blocker that potentially can draw you cards, and it sets up for your planeswalkers. Aura of Dominion. It's one of those things that are going to allow you to untap Kilo, tap an untap creature you control, untap enchanted creature. Um, and so I believe you can kind of just work it with itself as well. Um, but either way, you're just kind of paying one and be if you have some sort of source to tap it, something like Paradise Mantle, which we'll get to, pay, is from your planeswalkers is really nice. Also, artifact, also a blocker, cheap blocker. Nesting Grounds allows you to move 1/1 counters or loyalty counters around if you so choose. Sensei's Top. Unwinding Clock allows you to untap Kilo or just all of your artifacts that are in the deck. They're going to be tapping, attacking, mana, all that kind of stuff. Rivendell is just a land that's going to scry your cards. Astral Cornucopia, you pay three, have it come down as quick as you can. Get a charge counter on it, and then add charge counters as you proliferate to add more mana to your ability. Calciform Pools, cool one. Tap to put a storage counter on it, and then basically pay one and remove X storage counters from Calciform Pools to add that much blue and or white. You always leave one on there and always proliferate from there. Pretty cool in that regard. I've really liked it. Mountain. Manifold keyed untap artifacts. Being able to do that with the One Ring or Kilo or anything is quite good. Both the Jace enchantment that ETBs draws you three, discard two, and then you scry at the beginning of your turn for as many planeswalkers as you control. It gets pretty good as the game goes on, as long as stuff is sticking around. Dak Faden, we do run some proxies. This is a really old one. We don't have a Dax Faden proxy in the Commander Smiths, but we give up proxies. We have over 400 of them. Adam makes new ones every month, and we hand them out to our Patreon. So go check that out. You can get in our Discord as well. Chandra Nalar. I wanted to go with some planeswalkers that really had some big ultimates, which was fun. So basically, it's one damage for +1, -X to probably kill a creature, or -8, 10 damage to target player and each creature he or she controls. This is going to take out one player pretty easy, as long as you're still going. If you're proliferating pretty easy, you drop this, proliferate, 10 damage to a person and their creatures. You're kind of effectively ending their game. Shockland, Luminarch Ascension. It's a token creator, but basically, if you can get one token on there, then you can start making 4/4 angels for 2 mana. Um, you got a dual Archway of Innovation. You can pay a blue, tap it. The next spell you cast this turn has improvise. You got a bunch of artifacts in here, so might as well help cast your planeswalkers. Island. Esper Sentinel, it's an artifact. It's going to draw you cards. It's perfect in every way. If you have some 1/1 counter stuff's going on, it gets harder to pay for as well. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. It's another one. It draws cards, untaps lands, it returns something, gets it out of the way, any permanent. But really, what you want to do is -8 it. You get an emblem with whenever you draw a card, exile target permanent and opponent controls. And so this generally takes about 2 turns to be able to proliferate up to. If you start doing your infinite proliferation, obviously you're just going to start doing it every turn. Every time you draw a card, you're going to exile 2, 3, 4 things. It gets kind of cool. Commodore Guff is kind of there just for the on theme draw, the on theme damage, and creating little 1/1s that can tap to make it easier to cast your planeswalkers. It works pretty nice. I normally just use it for that draw 2, 3, 4 cards a turn. And that ends up being really nice. We have a Scholar of New Horizons that is there to just remove any sort of counters and then go get land. Voltaic Key to untap artifacts. We have Jeweled Amulet, which is pretty cool. Again, very much like Calciform Pools, where you get a counter on it and then you make sure you proliferate beyond that one and you never, do your best never to drop below one so that you can always do that. But you put a storage counter on it, you can tap, remove a storage counter for the mana that you paid to do it, and then um, basically after that, you just tap, remove a storage counter for that mana, and it's 0 mana. Like it's pretty cool in here. I like it a lot. It's just a 0 mana rock that you got to pay into. Sulfur Falls. My mana is not up to par on this one. I'm running out of red, white, blue stuff. But Penman's Aura is pretty sweet. If you can get Kilo tapping for a blue and this on there, you can untap Enchanted Creature. So you just, tap it for a blue, use that blue to untap it, proliferate as much as you want, and all your planeswalkers will start ultimating. Pretty sweet. Fetch land. Ajani Steadfast. This goes really well with both. So this can put 1/1 counter on all your creatures, and then you proliferate and make everything boss, or you can -7 it, and then any damage to you from a source is reduced to 1 total. So it makes it really hard for you to die or your planeswalkers, I believe. But yeah, you are a planeswalker, so it kind of is nice in that regard. Tome of Legends comes into play with counter on it. Kilo comes into play right after it. Make another counter on it, attack, put a counter on it, proliferate, put a counter on it, but pay 1, tap, remove a counter, draw a card. It works all the time. Jeskai Ascendancy. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, untap your creatures, give them 1/1, and then you get to draw a card, discard a card. This card is doing a whole ton, and it's perfect in this deck. If you have your creatures that are tapping 4 mana, it goes really well. Hey, Mr. Wyndham, thanks for joining. Paradise Mantle comes into play for free. You equip it to Kilo. Kilo taps for mana, proliferate everything. It's pretty sweet. Interplanar Beacon, basically there to draw or gain you a life whenever you cast a Planeswalker. A little bit of fixing, but whatever. The Emperor of Palmechia, or whatever, but pay a red and a blue, or no, sorry, taps to create a red or a blue for a non-creature spell, which is all your Planeswalkers. Whenever you cast a non-spell with at least 4 mana was spent, put a 1/1 counter on it, proliferate, do it again, flip it, and it turns into like you know, with the counters, 6/6, 7/7, keeps on getting bigger with the proliferation, does a little bit of burn damage. That's pretty cool. Clifftop Retreats, Experimental Augury. Look at the top 3, put 1 in your hand, proliferate. You have Freed from the Real, which is the same thing. Pay a blue to untap Kilo, and then if you can tap Kilo, you're proliferating as much as you can create the blue mana. It's perfect. Lux Cannon, tap to put a charge counter on it, and then tap to remove 3 charge counters from Lux Cannon, destroy target permanent. So again, you put 1 on there, proliferate as much as you can, and then you try and make sure that you're never removing more than all of the counters so that you can continue to proliferate and have the bonus of just having it around. El Speth Storm Slayer. This is to double any tokens. There's a sub token theme in here. So it doubles those. 1/1 counters on everything also helps, and just a little bit of removal. Really nice in all regards. Silent Arbiter probably should go in every Super Friends deck out there, but no more than one creature can attack and no more than one creature can block. So you can't just get overrun to make sure that your planeswalkers stay around. Ornithopter of Paradise for that mana. Honorworn Shaku allows you to, it taps for a colorless. You can tap your planeswalkers to untap it or any legendary permanent. Also helps with Kilo. Pretty nice in that regard. Glacial Fortress, Tundra, Blooded Strand, Sacred Foundry. We have Urza tapping those Kilo or any other artifacts for blue mana is exactly what you want. Triland, Mithril Coat to give him indestructible, allows him to attack. It is an artifact. So a lot in theme. Contested plans is draw a card, proliferate at sorcery speed. Minimo allows you to untap target legendary permanent. That can be the One Ring, that can be Kilo, that can be kind of anything. Dual land, Soul Ring, Inspiring Statuary. All your non-artifact spells have Inspire, so tapping your artifacts like Kilo or anything else for Planeswalker spells to get there quicker is really nice. Chief Engineer, artifact spells you control have Convoke, another way to tap Kilo down for artifact spells. It works pretty well. Ripples of Potential, you proliferate, put a bunch of counters on all your Planeswalkers, and then they phase out, or the 1/1 counters. Um, Again, it's a great protection spell. You have Teferi, Time Raveler. This one is it doesn't go over the top with an ultimate, but it's a nice little um what would you say? Just control card. It comes down early. Make sure nobody can mess with your plan on your turn. It bounces. It draws. I can't. I don't really have any sorceries that I can cast, so that part doesn't matter. But it's bounce and draw. Fettle Alchemist is tap, untap target artifact or creature. It works on a lot of different things. Uthros, Titanic God Core. Is pretty much here. Get to that 12. It's a tap spot for Kilo. So you tap, put 3 on there, and then you're just always proliferating and you'll get there pretty easy. And then you can pay a blue, tap, add blue for each artifact you control. Also just creates a blue for when you need it. Springleaf Drum, another artifact. Also tapping Kilo for mana just the one time is really nice. Planes, all will be one. This is the one spot where it does get a little tricky. For me, I don't like running ultimate combos that are going to win like unlimited. But if I am doing unlimited proliferating with this in play, I do get to win off that. I figure it's a really nice way to just kind of win. I might take it out. I don't know, but it is really good in there. Clock of Omens, basically tap Kilo and something else to untap a Kilo, and you get a lot of proliferation going on. Lost in the Maze is really cool. It's the X is tapping down and stun counters on X creatures. You proliferate, and then you just always keep those things tapped, and then also tap creatures you control have hexproof. It is perfect. I love it. Minds of Moria, to Fury, to Peril, Pilgrim. Whenever you draw a card, put a loyalty on it. It's here for that -12 to they get one thing back to the hand and then they shuffle everything else into their deck. It's basically resetting them other than their lands. So you have Intruder Alarm to untap all creatures, but your creatures, so that you can proliferate a bunch, hopefully. Chandra, Torch of Defiance. It's one of those glue cards. Looking at cards, mana, a little bit of removal, and then once you start casting spells on the ultimate, 5 damage to target creature or player, you're going to end the game pretty quick. Chandra, Legacy of Fire. It's there basically for the mana, the early damage at the beginning. It'll just start whittling stuff down. It's kind of just the best option. There's a little bit of card looking too, but I don't do that a lot unless I'm really making a lot of proliferations. Magda, just another legend that likes to be tapped, creates treasure, moves forward. You're not going to be searching for anything in this deck, really. Ichor Moon Gauntlet, just allowing your um, planeswalkers, your walkers to be able to proliferate, and then also the 12 take an extra turn after this one. I'm going to avoid doing the extra turn. This is there for putting counters on stuff and proliferating. I mean, if I need to, I will. That's another thing that I don't like, extra turns, but it is what it is. Plains, shockland, mountain, long range sensors, really, really cool. Artifacts, whenever you attack a player, put a charge counter on it. So you attack with Kilo, put a counter on there, proliferate it on there, remove 2 charge counters from this artifact, discover 4, activate only as a sorcery. Um, and so the cool again, you remove 2, make sure there's 1 still left on there, and discover 4, you just reveal cards like Cascade until it's 4 or less, cast it, and if you don't wanna cast it, this is a great thing, goes into your hand. So, if you have some sort of protection, counter spell, you don't have to cast it because it's not opportune at that time. So, this card's great. Command Tower, Teferi's Protection, Prismatic Vista, Narset, Porter of the Veil, make sure that nobody's outdrawing you. Also, the -2, going and getting a card into your hand. Um, Also, like in this deck, you're just not going to run out because you're always just going to be able to use cards. Tezzeret, Agent, Betrayer of Flesh. I really like this card too, but the +1 is draw 2, discard 2 unless it's an artifact. Sometimes you get stuff you can discard pretty easy. I don't normally turn anything to a 4/4, but then whenever you get an emblem with whenever an artifact you control becomes tapped, draw a card. Pretty easy to get to 6, and then you just kind of out and do it. Uh, no tutor. Sorry. Brotherhood Regalia, just an artifact that allows Kilo to attack with some protection on it as well. Oath of Teferi, allowing my planeswalkers to activate twice in a turn is crazy. The blink part generally gets a little whatever, but just being able to activate twice is great. Mu Yangling, it's there basically to create some 2/2s, and if I start going off, I'm gonna be able to draw cards off of tapping islands. Fabled Passage, Benthic Biomancer, really cheap. Whenever you put a 1/1 counter on it, draw a card, discard a card. It just allows you to um, kind of move through the deck a little bit more efficiently, but it's pretty nice. Jason Mind Sculptor, you know what it does. You know what? In this deck, I also just want to +2 it to Fate Seal something away. But really, it's there for the brainstorm. It can bounce, but whatever. Venser, it's there for that ultimate. You get a emblem with whenever you cast a spell, exile target permanent. Also, um, blinking is a little bit relevant, but creatures you control can't be blocked is very relevant. And the -1 is nothing because you proliferate it right back. So, fetch land, Relic of Legends allows you to tap Kilo for mana, and that kind of sets everything off. Teferi, who slows the sunset. This untaps stuff, untaps, draws, and does a bunch in the deck. Just kind of a glue card a little bit. The One Ring draws you a ton of cards. I'll proliferate this up to like that 3, 4, 5 spot, and then I kind of leave it there and naturally allow it to build from there on. Grand Architect, allowing Kilo and other blue cards to tap for artifact mana and abilities. Cthulhu, Inquiry Dominus. Whenever you proliferate, do it again. That's kind of there for, and then you can also make it indestructible. Maybe Nest Grounds can move a second indestructible counter over to Kilo. A little bit going on there. And last one is Ancient Tomb, just for what's going on. Hey, if you enjoyed this Kilo deck or you have your own, let me know what you got in your deck and which way you're going. But hopefully you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. Bye.